They were afraid that maybe they might be chosen to be, put under the microscope by McCarthyism. So I thought, what the hell? Change my name.
Charles Bronson, an iconic actor known for his tough guy roles in movies, left behind a legacy that has raised some pressing questions. Over the years, rumors about his personal life and family have caught the attention of fans all over the world. Now, after several years of unending speculations, his daughter has finally come out to reveal the truth and confirm the rumors. Which rumors did she confirm? Join us as we share her confirmation about her father and his most shocking hidden secret. Charles Bronson's early life and career. Before his daughter's recent confirmation, Charles Bronson, whose original name was Charles Dennis Bukinski, was born on November 3, 1922, in Ehrenfeld, Pennsylvania, to a Roman Catholic family of Lithuanian heritage in the coal region of Allegheny of the mountains north of Johnstown. He was said to be from a very poor background, and he happened to be the 11th of 15 children born into a very large group that slept in shifts in a cold water shack. His parents were Lithuanian Mary Valinsky, the mother of Lipka Tatar, and Latvian Valteris P. Bwinskis. His family was said to have suffered from extreme poverty during the Great Depression. Charles Bronson reportedly went hungry many times and even had to wear his elder sister's dress to school on many occasions for lack of clothing. He was reported to have lost his father when he was 10 years old. After the death of his father, he decided to work in coal mines, where he claimed that each ton of coal extracted was worth $1. He revealed in an interview that he had to work 2 shifts to make $1 every week. Bronson was also said to have worked with his brother to physically remove stumps between mines, where he learned that cave-ins were frequent. Reports have it that Bronson worked in the mine until 1943, when he enrolled in the United States Army Air Force during World War II. He was said to have served in the 760th Flexible Gunnery Training Squadron, and as a Boeing B-29 Superfortress aerial gunner with Guam-based 61st Bombardment Squadron of the 39th Bombardment Group, which operated combat missions against the Japanese home island in 1945. As part of his duties, he was said to have flown 25 missions and received the Purple Heart for combat injuries. After his service in World War II, Bronson was said to have done various odd jobs before he finally joined a theatrical group. He relocated to Hollywood in 1950 after a brief stay in New York. After the relocation, he was said to have registered in acting classes, where he learned how to act in movies. Charles Bronson was said to have enrolled at Pasadena Playhouse School in order to improve his diction. He was said to have supported himself by selling Christmas cards and toys on street corners. He was reported to have been seen by studio scouts at the Playhouse and was given a role in the 1952 service comedy You're in the Navy Now, starring Gary Cooper. Bronson's reported first screen appearance was as an uncredited sailor in the 1951 film You Are in the Navy Now. After that, he also appeared in a few motion pictures, such as Pat and Mike, Miss Sadie Thompson, and House of Wax. That's not all. Bronson was also said to have made his television debut in Rogers' show Knockout in 1952, as well as an episode of The Red Skelton Show. His performance in Drumbeat as Modoc warrior Captain Jack was said to have propelled his acting talent to the forefront. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, he was said to have appeared on several television programs, which includes Biff Baker, USA, Sheriff of Cochise, U.S. Marshal, Hey Jeannie, and So Died Ryabuchinska. His exceptional acting skills reportedly got him repeated roles in television shows like Have Gun, Will Travel, and Hennessy. These helped to grow his popularity among movie lovers in and outside the USA. He got his first lead role in Roger Corman's 1958 film Machine Gun Kelly. He was also said to have gotten cast as Mike Kovac in the detective series Man with a Camera, which aired until 1960. That same year, he appeared in several TV series, which included Riverboat and The Islanders. His portrayal of Bernardo O'Reilly in John Sturges' movie The Magnificent Seven was said to have given him his first taste of genuine fame. He was then confirmed as a rising Hollywood star. Bronson's rise continued as he was chosen to play the claustrophobic Polish exile 3 years later in The Great Escape, another Sturges picture with a large budget and post-World War II setting. He was also said to have had appearances from 1963 to 1967, which includes Empire, The Travels of Jamie McPheeters, The Legend of Jesse James, and Combat. Bronson's tough guy reputation was said to have landed him lead roles in movies such as The Dirty Dozen, which starred Lee Marvin and Ernest Borgnine. Bronson's magnum opus, Death Wish, was said to be released in 1974. In the film Yes, Virginia, There is a Santa Claus, he played a compassionate newspaper editor, which showed a significant deviation from his usual violent roles. In 1994, Death Wish Fev, The Face of Death, the last of the Death Wish franchise, was released. This was said to have marked his final theatrical release. Bronson also appeared in several other TV movies, including Family of Cops 1995, Breach of Faith, A Family of Cops 2, 1997, and Family of Cops 3, Under Suspicion, 1999. Now, before we finally reveal the rumor his daughter confirmed, let's take a quick look into his love and marital life. Bronson's love and marital life. Charles Bronson's love and marital life was not one without controversy. Unconfirmed sources have it that Charles Bronson had a child named Michael Jonathan Peterson with Irene Dunroe, a 19-year-old lady in the 1970s after he got married to Harriet Tendler in 1968. Harriet, who happened to be Charles Bronson's first wife, met her husband in a Philadelphia acting school. Harriet was 18, while Charles was 26. Their relationship eventually blossomed into something more. They had 2 children, Suzanne and Tony, before they divorced. Harriet was said to have supported the both of them while they were both struggling as actors. Gradually, opportunities began to come the way of Bronson when the producers for John Sturges' The Great Escape came calling. At that time, Bronson was said to be more than willing to take the next step in his acting career. This was reported to have marked the beginning of the end of the relationship he had with Harriet, as he had the pleasure of having established co-stars with him on set. Stars like Steve McQueen, James Garner, James Coburn, and Richard Attenborough. To make matters worse, Bronson was said to have told David McCallum he was going to steal his wife when the actor brought his wife Jill Ireland to visit the production. This was said to have gotten the Scottish actor angry. Eventually, the inevitable happened when Bronson and Tendler separated in 1965, and McCallum and Ireland went their separate ways in 1967. In 1968, Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland got married. It was later reported that Bronson and McCallum settled their differences amicably and moved on with their lives. The love story between Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland was both romantic and productive, as it not only produced love all around, but it became the start of a partnership that lasted over 16 films. Charles Bronson and his wife Jill Ireland were said to have had one biological child, Zuleika, and adopted another child, Katrina. Bronson, who already had a name in the business, made sure that Ireland always played his leading lady or any derivative part in his subsequent projects. At that time, Jill was said to be nowhere near the status of her famous husband, but Bronson ensured to give her several opportunities. From bit part roles in movies like playing Robert Mitchum's restaurant date in Buzz Kulik's Villa Rides, to acting Maria Reina Valachi in Terence Young's The Valachi Papers, to her final role in Peter Hunt's Assassination. Ireland made sure to make the most out of every chance she was given. Unfortunately, in 1984, Ireland was reported to be diagnosed with breast cancer. She was said to have fought bravely against the disease for 6 years, which she finally succumbed to in 1990 at their home in Malibu. She wrote 2 books that told her story, namely Life Wish, a personal story of survival and lifeline, My Fight to Save My Family. She was said to have been awarded the American Cancer Society's Courage Award by President Ronald Reagan for brave efforts in the fight against cancer. The death of Jill Ireland changed the course of Charles Bronson's life, as his life never remained the same again. Report has it that he later got married to singer Kim Weeks in 1998, but Ireland was always in his heart. He had a custom-built cane that was hollow, where the ashes of his late wife were securely placed to commemorate her. The walking cane was reportedly used until he died in 2003 from pneumonia. The cane was said to have been buried with him in his grave in Vermont. Just when we thought the drama was over, one of Charles Bronson's daughters just confirmed a rumor. This is one revelation that will blow your mind. Charles Bronson's death and the confirmed rumor. Charles Bronson, the Pennsylvania coal miner who transitioned into acting, cast as a villain, and quickly became an action star, especially thanks to the popular Death Wish vengeance movies, was reported to have died in 2003, aged 81. Publicist Laurie Jonas said Charles Bronson died on a Saturday of pneumonia at the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, with his wife at his bedside. Jonas added that he had been in the hospital for weeks before he died. Charles Bronson, who during the height of his career was hugely popular in Europe, the French knew him as Le Sacre Monstre, interpreted as the Sacred Monster. The Italians knew him as Tu Brutto, interpreted as the Ugly Man. In 1971, he was presented a Golden Globe as the most popular actor in the world. Bronson proved himself as a star, as he was said to have left a featured role career in Hollywood to play lead roles in films made in France, Italy, and Spain. His blunt manner, physical appearance, and air of danger made him the most popular actor in those countries. Charles Bronson is said to be survived by his wife, Kim Weeks, 4 children: Suzanne Bronson, Tony Bronson, Zuleika Bronson, Katrina Holden Bronson, and 2 grandchildren. But in a very unexpected twist, Katrina, who took after her dad and had been known to follow in the steps of her dad as a film director, screenwriter, and actress, confirmed a rumor that had been flying around for years. She revealed that she was an adopted child and not a biological daughter of Charles Bronson. It was reported that her mother, Hilary Holden, died when she was much younger, before she was adopted by Charles Bronson and Ireland Jill, who were friends of her mother. As we think back on his legacy, we're reminded that even the toughest of exteriors can hide a complicated and vulnerable interior. Katrina's revelation reminds us that family is not just about blood ties, but about the love and connections we make along the way.
The relationship between certain members of the family and the tabloid press, those certain members have decided to get into bed with the devil.
He accused some royal family members of metaphorically getting into bed with the devil, specifically pointing to an incident where Queen Camilla allegedly leaked personal information about him to the press. In exchange, the press gave more favorable coverage of the Queen's image. That is not all. In Spare, Harry claims that his father and Camilla's spin doctor decided to sacrifice his reputation by leaking details about his drug use in 2002. He added that King Charles sent him to a drug rehabilitation center to gain public sympathy for himself as a concerned father and to improve his relationship with the public. Harry also recounts that in 2019, William was furious because Pa and Camilla's people had planted stories about him, Kate, and the children. Fed up with the situation, William stated, "Give Pa and Camilla an inch, they take a mile." In another interview on 60 Minutes with Anderson Cooper, Harry intensified his criticism of Camilla, describing her as dangerous due to her connections with media members.
You wrote, "I even wanted Camilla to be happy. Maybe she'd be less dangerous if she was happy." Mm-hmm. How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
That made her dangerous.
That made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
He claimed there was a mutual willingness between Camilla and the press to exchange information. Harry explained that within a family driven by hierarchy, and with Camilla on her path to becoming queen consort, it was inevitable that some people would be sacrificed along the way, saying there would be people or bodies left in the street. He further labeled his stepmother as the villain. He referred to her as the third person in the marriage, a remark that mirrors his mother Diana's famous statement in her 1995 interview with Martin Bashir, where she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage." Harry said he had mixed emotions about gaining a stepmother, which he felt had recently undermined him for her public relations advantage. He writes, "I had complex feelings about gaining a step-parent who, I believed, had recently sacrificed me on her PR altar." Despite these feelings, he admits that he hoped for Camilla's happiness, thinking that perhaps she would be less dangerous if she was happy. But maybe the most troubling part of this story is King Charles getting caught in the crossfire between his lovely wife and younger son. Before we reveal that, it is important to talk about Harry's relationship with the king, Prince Harry and King Charles. Prince Harry's conflicts within the royal family go beyond his stepmother. He has also been at odds with his father for a long time. Their issues started a few years ago when his father objected to his decision to move abroad with his wife, Meghan Markle. In the Netflix documentary series Harry and Meghan, Harry recalled a tense encounter in 2020 that further damaged his relationship with his father. During a meeting with senior royals, his father confronted him aggressively and presented him with options: total commitment to the royal family or complete withdrawal. Harry chose a middle ground, opting to remain partially involved. However, neither Charles nor his brother, Prince William, approved this decision, leading to a heated confrontation. Harry described the experience as frightening. He also mentioned that his father made false accusations against him during the meeting, while his grandmother remained silent. Harry also recalled a painful episode from the 90s. He refers to it as one of the darkest moments of his life. His mother had just died in a fatal crash in Paris. When King Charles broke the news of Princess Diana's death to him, he showed no emotional support. Specifically, Charles simply placed a hand on Harry's knee and told him, "It's going to be okay," which Harry felt was a hollow reassurance and not the comfort he needed at that traumatic time. Harry probably thought the king already had Camilla as a replacement for his mum, especially since they had concluded their divorce process. Additionally, Harry disclosed that the royal family, particularly his father, did not provide him with adequate support during his struggles with PTSD following his military service in Afghanistan. He made more shocking revelations during a 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey. Harry declared that his father, then Prince Charles, had been giving him silent treatment because he had decided to return from royal duties. He also mentioned that the royal family did not offer support when British tabloids relentlessly attacked his wife, Meghan. Although Harry wanted to mend ties, Charles stopped answering his calls. Despite the pain this caused, he declared a continued love for his father. This episode of Charles ignoring Harry's calls was later discussed in Robert Jobson's book, Our King, Charles III, The Man and the Monarch Revealed. The book offers a detailed portrayal of events behind the scenes and notes that Harry initially sought Queen Elizabeth's advice about his running issues with his father. However, she recommended that he and Charles resolve their differences directly rather than involving her as a mediator. The next revelation is even more interesting. Jobson reports that King Charles stopped answering Prince Harry's calls after Harry swore at him and repeatedly asked for money. When the late Queen Elizabeth questioned Charles why he didn't give in, he responded that he wasn't a bank. During his visit to the UK for Prince Philip's funeral in 2021, Harry tried to reconcile with Prince William and King Charles, but his attempts failed. Harry described the reunion in his memoir, Spare, noting that it quickly turned into another argument despite his efforts to avoid conflict. He added that the situation was beyond his control, as his father and brother had made up their minds, ready for a clash. Prince Harry had hoped to use the opportunity to explain his decision to move to California, but felt he never got the chance during the heated discussion. Reflecting on the moment, he said he tried to share his side but became anxious and struggled to control his emotions while attempting to speak clearly and concisely. Unfortunately, the family conversation quickly escalated into yet another argument. Harry recounted how tensions between him and his brother intensified until their father intervened, raising his hands and saying, "Enough!" Standing between his sons and looking up at their flushed faces, King Charles pleaded, "Please, boys, don't make my final years a misery." But let us put Harry's clash with King Charles aside for a while. Another critical controversy between them happened during the burial of Queen Elizabeth.
Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has died. Queen Elizabeth has been monarch of the United Kingdom and head of the Commonwealth nations since 1952.
Military uniform controversy. During the burial rites of Queen Elizabeth in 2022, King Charles refused Harry's proposal to wear a military uniform. King Charles believed that Harry was no longer an active member of the royal family and did not deserve the honor of wearing the ceremonial uniform for the burial. However, here is where things get interesting. Charles allowed Prince Andrew, who had also stepped down from royal duties due to his ties with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, to wear his military uniform during the Queen's final vigil. There were different reactions to King Charles' decision. For instance, royal biographer Christopher Anderson told Us Weekly that the choice was expected, adding, "It was the Queen's wish, and Charles wanted to ensure her wishes were honored." On the other hand, commentator Shola Mos-Shogbamamu strongly criticized the move, telling Newsweek, "This is a clear case of double standards. It shows how out of touch the royal family is and their failure to grasp public sentiment, sending entirely the wrong message. Despite initial resistance, Prince Charles eventually allowed Prince Harry to wear his military uniform. However, the damage was done, further straining the relationship between Harry and Charles. In their Netflix docuseries, Prince Harry mentioned that his family had difficulty understanding his reasons for leaving the royal family. Although they tried to address the situation at Philip's funeral, their efforts were unsuccessful. The most pressing issue within the royal family now seems to be responsibility. Stay tuned as we reveal more about this unfolding situation. Prince Harry feels that his brother and father are solely responsible for not understanding his reasons for leaving the royal family. He also doubts he will ever receive a sincere apology or see any accountability. Harry added that he and Meghan have moved forward and are concentrating on their future. Rumors abound that King Charles's relationship with his beloved Queen Camilla is not always as smooth as it seems to the public.
Charles and Camilla tomorrow. You know, their love story has been at the center of TV dramas. It's been splashed across the tabloids. But now, after a decades-long, often controversial love affair,
King Charles is torn between Harry and Queen Camilla. Royal insiders have claimed that King Charles is facing a challenging year with rising tensions and strained relationships. But this time, not just restricted to Harry alone, but Queen Camilla. Despite appearing normal in public, the king feels pressure from these situations. Queen Camilla has taken a firm stance against King Charles, welcoming Prince Harry and daughter-in-law Meghan back into the royal family. According to palace insiders, Camilla has barred Harry from seeing his father or staying at any royal residence without prior notice. Sources close to the monarch also added that Charles was blindsided. Camilla took matters into her own hands. This is all unfolding as the king attempts to reconcile with Harry. The report added that Camilla's request led to their biggest ever fight and left their marriage on the rocks. While some insiders claim that Camilla is now advocating for peace, sources told the National Enquirer that she harbors no affection for Harry, especially after he attacks her person. The palace sources also revealed that Camilla seemed to be the power behind the throne, and her role has grown increasingly more important since the king had to step back for cancer treatment. Firm when he confessed to feeling guilty about Harry not being a better father during his childhood. Despite the ongoing issues with Harry, another source revealed that Charles is willing to forgive, though only on his terms. But Camilla doesn't want him to feel any guilt. In fact, she doesn't see the need for the king to mend ties with his younger son. However, the drama between King Charles and his wife only goes a little beyond Harry's matter. For instance, Queen Camilla was not happy when King Charles publicly disclosed his treatment for an enlarged prostate and cancer diagnosis earlier this year.
We've received breaking news from Buckingham Palace, which has announced that the king has been diagnosed with cancer.
According to Robert Jobson, author of the 2023 biography, Our King, Charles III, The Man and the Monarch Revealed, the 75-year-old king ultimately announced, despite fierce opposition from his wife. Jobson explained to The Independent that Queen Camilla had initially been against disclosing his condition, but the king overruled her, believing it was an opportunity to lead by example and encourage men with similar symptoms to seek prompt medical attention. Beyond serious matters such as the king's health and Harry's running issues with the royal family, the king and Queen Camilla have also clashed over minor issues. Queen Camilla's sister, Annabelle Elliott, provides insight into this private struggle. In a conversation with Robert Hardman, as reported by OK, Annabelle explained that the tension partly arises from Charles and Camilla being opposites. One of their main private disputes involves whether to keep the windows open while sleeping, which has led to frequent disagreements. Annabelle described the dispute. He will have opened it. She will sneak in behind and close it. So there's a lot of, "Oh, darling, you shut the window." "Yes, I have, because we're all freezing." So there's a lot of playful banter about it. She also noted that while King Charles usually wins the battle over the windows, Camilla tends to win most other things in their marriage. Despite the running issues, Queen Camilla has grown increasingly influential in the royal family. Queen Camilla, Harry's dilemma. Queen Camilla has stepped up her role in the royal family in recent months due to King Charles's health challenges and cancer treatment. Her growing influence within the royal household has led to fears that King Charles may never fulfill his desire to mend ties with Harry. However, Camilla is only sometimes the celebrity queen you see today. It took her years to build this reputation with the British people. This takes us back to 1981, during the wedding of Charles and Diana. Diana spotted a woman in a pale gray dress and pillbox hat as she walked up the aisle, as reported by Sky News. That woman was Camilla. Caroline Davies noted in The Guardian that the close bond between Camilla and the future king was so powerful that it disrupted both their marriages, outraged the British royal family, and portrayed Camilla as a scheming marriage wrecker throughout Britain. The most critical moment in their relationship came in 1993. Someone leaked a secretly recorded phone conversation between the two in what is known as the Tampon Gate scandal.
For my wife, myself, and indeed for the entire royal family, culminating in the recent despicable broadcast of private telephone conversations, unlawfully recorded between myself and a married woman of my acquaintance, Camilla Parker Bowl.
The recording contained explicit and embarrassing details of their long-term affair, including intimate conversations. Remember that both were married to different partners then. The leak brought negative publicity, especially for Camilla. Following Princess Diana's 1995 interview, in which she publicly acknowledged Camilla's presence in her marriage and referred to her as a Rottweiler, the media labeled the Queen the most hated woman in Britain. This negative reputation proved difficult for Camilla to overcome. However, according to Davies of The Guardian, had Diana not tragically died in a car accident in Paris in 1997, public acceptance of Camilla as a future queen might have been less challenging. Despite the growing acceptance of their relationship, the tragic event forced the couple to put their P. Camilla temporarily, and was compelled to maintain a low profile. A friend told The Times that Camilla's resilience and strong sense of duty have been instrumental in helping her through these difficult circumstances. Fast forward to today, Queen Camilla, once viewed as a controversial figure within the House of Windsor and a central player in the troubled marriage of King Charles to the late Princess Diana, has become one of the monarchy's most important representatives. Camilla gracefully filled the gap when the King and Kate, the Princess of Wales, could not fulfill their royal duties due to cancer treatments. She also expanded her public engagements and kept the royal family in the public spotlight. However, there are reports that Prince Harry wants to reunite with the royal family. Let us look at what this means for Queen Camilla. You cannot afford to miss this part.
She said she wanted Prince Charles's wife, Camilla, to take the title of Queen Consort when he becomes king.
Harry's future relationship with Queen Camilla and the royal family. There have been indications that Prince Harry is interested in returning to the United Kingdom and reintegrating into the royal family, which could lead to a reconciliation with his father. According to the Mail on Sunday, Harry has been reaching out to former royal aides and old friends to re-establish himself in British social circles. Aside from that, other signs indicate that he may be ready to move on from the past and reconnect with the royal family. The media also reported that he is seeking advice from people he knew as a working royal after expressing dissatisfaction with the counsel he received in the United States. Just last month, it was revealed that his chief of staff, Josh Kettler, had resigned after only 3 months in the position. A source told the Mail on Sunday, Harry is distancing himself from Hollywood publicists and seeking guidance from his old friends and associates in the UK. It's clear that he's realizing, I need to make a change because my current approach isn't working. In essence, he's reevaluating his strategy. Mail on Sunday also revealed that Prince Harry has sent friendly WhatsApp messages to old friends who are willing to assist him in reintegrating into British society to some extent. However, how easily Harry would reconcile with British culture needs to be clarified, especially with his running issues with his brother and stepmother, Queen Camilla. Some friends reportedly refer to the effort to facilitate Harry's partial return as Operation Bring Harry In from the Cold. A source told The Sun, Harry is feeling increasingly isolated in California, which is why he has been reconnecting with old friends back home. Prince Harry might need to address the ongoing tensions with his royal relatives to reintegrate into British social circles. Reports indicate that King Charles is open to reconciling with Prince Harry. However, Harry has an ongoing legal dispute with the British government over his security details. After stepping down from royal duties in 2020,
the weekend's announcement that Harry and Meghan will step back from all royal duties.
The Home Office reduced Harry's level of protection. Harry filed an action. He lost the case but plans to appeal. Royal sources believe the king would prefer if Harry dropped the case entirely. Prince Harry has also filed a lawsuit against a British tabloid, alleging unlawful information gathering about his life. However, his father did not support his legal efforts. In fact, since 2019, Harry has filed lawsuits against 3 of Britain's leading tabloid publishers. Harry stated that King Charles warned him that his legal actions were a suicide mission rather than supporting him. Another potential issue they must resolve is the upcoming paperback release of Harry's controversial memoir, Spare. While paperback editions of non-fiction books often include additional chapters or updated information, the Spare paperback version may not contain any new content. Some believe that Harry decided not to include more chapters as a possible olive branch to King Charles, Prince William, and the rest of the royal family. Although the book will have a new cover design, its content will remain unchanged. It seems Prince Harry is coming back home. Thank you for staying with us. What should King Charles do about the rivalry between his wife and younger son? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.